Hey guys, I'm Amy, I'm a painter, and today I'm going to talk about how to paint a mirror frame and make it look good and not have weird stuff showing underneath through the reflections. I'm also going to talk about whether it's a good idea for furniture flippers to flip mirrors. A lot of you watch my channel for furniture flipping content, and so I'm going to answer the question, should you try flipping mirrors? Is it worth it? On that note, I'm going to include a little freebie underneath in the description that will take you to a worksheet that has a pricing worksheet for furniture flippers, so you can see how much you should charge for something that you're flipping or how much you can afford to pay for something in order to get the profit that you want when you sell it. And that brings us right into the question, is it worth it to flip mirrors if you're flipping furniture? For the most part, I'm going to say, no, they're not super profitable. There are other items that are a lot more profitable than mirrors. There are a few exceptions. One is if you don't have a truck or a way to get large pieces of furniture like dressers and things like that, which usually have a higher profit margin, then yeah, you might want to try flipping mirrors. And I did a whole video about that, which I will link to, about small flips or flipping furniture without a truck. And so you may have to hold on to it for a little longer, some of those smaller pieces, or a mirror to find the right buyer, but you still could make some profit if you paint it or fix it up, or if it's a special piece. So that's the other exception, is if you find a really special mirror, like a gold ornate one that's highly sought after, and you find it for a really great low price, then you can probably flip that for a significant markup. So that could be worth it. And the third exception would be, often as flippers we get a dresser that comes with a mirror attached to it. That was how it was done typically a lot of times in the past, and so sometimes you will get a mirror basically for free along with a dresser that you are planning to flip. And so if that's the case, you got it for free, it may be worth flipping just to get something for it because you've got it anyway. Your buyer may not be looking for the dresser mirror combo. That used to be pretty common to have them attached as a set, and a lot of times I will buy something like that and just sell the dresser by itself. In fact, the one I'm painting today is a mirror that I got when I bought a dresser a while back, and I did an ornate painting job on the dresser and sold the dresser, and so I still have the mirror. And sometimes if it's just a very plain one, you know, it may not be worth doing a lot to. This one has some kind of interesting sort of Moroccan feeling cutouts, and so I felt like I could do something kind of fun with it and see if it would be worth painting. There's another mirror I painted recently for a client who wanted me to paint the dresser and the mirror, and she did still use them together as a set, and so I painted both of those. I'll include a picture of that. And in that case, the mirror frame was wide enough that I was able to do two colors blended and make it fairly interesting looking. A lot of these mirrors that you get with a dresser is just not a very wide mirror frame, and there's not much you can do with it except just maybe paint it a color that is more attractive to people than the plain wood, if that's not what people are into right now. Maybe if it's something a little more ornate, you could paint it gold. Maybe that would be interesting to someone. Maybe you could do kind of a rustic looking finish that would look like a farmhouse finish or something, and that might be, you know, more trendy and more like something people would want to buy. But in general, I wouldn't buy a big mirror with a plain frame just with the intention of flipping it. I don't really think they're worth doing. And also, as you'll see in this video, it's difficult to take pictures of mirrors when you want to flip it and show it well, and it can be a little difficult to paint them, which is why I'm doing this video about how to paint them, because you will be able to see a reflection, and sometimes people don't realize that if the wood goes around, you can see a little bit of the wood that's underneath that reflects in the mirror itself. And depending on how the mirror is framed, how loose it is in the frame or how deep it is, sometimes you see more of that reflection than others, depending kind of on how it's mounted in there. And depending on what color you want to paint it, that may be more of a problem than other ways. So, for example, if you want to paint a mirror dark and it was dark wood or something sort of dark, the reflection that you're seeing in the corner is kind of dark, and you paint the mirror black, that's not going to bother you. You're not even going to notice that. But if you have dark wood reflecting from underneath and then you paint the mirror frame white, you're still going to see some of that dark wood that's around the corner underneath where you can't reach it. and you're still going to see that, and that may bother you because you may see like a line of dark wood where you've painted the thing white. So you need to take that into consideration before you decide to try painting something without removing the mirror. Some of these old frames, like these old mirrors, are framed in a way, like the one that I am painting today, where they were not made to be taken apart, and it's really not worth the trouble to take them apart. The first thing you want to do is give the mirror a light scuff sanding. This helps the paint adhere better to the surface. It scuffs up that factory finish that's on top and also just gets off anything that might be stuck to it. One thing I like to do is use a piece of paper to just kind of protect the mirror and make sure that I am not getting any sandpaper scraping or scratching up the surface of the mirror. You want to keep the mirror nice and pristine. After that, you want to give it a real good cleaning, and I use something called crud cutter frequently on the wood, but I also, again, want to protect the glass of the mirror from getting any overspray on that because it's pretty powerful stuff. What the crud cutter will do is it will not only remove any old layers of polish or wax that have been on there over the years, also any kind of dirt or other things that need to come off, but it will also soften that top layer of clear coat and kind of loosen it up so that, again, the frame will receive the paint better and the paint will be able to adhere to it a lot better. I decided to divide my frame into 4 quadrants and leave 2 of them in the natural wood color and then paint the other 2 in a creamy white color. So after I measured and taped it off, I put a blue painter's tape X on the 2 sides that I wasn't going to paint, just to make sure that I didn't accidentally paint the wrong parts. That happens sometimes when you're trying to do a pattern and you want to make sure that you don't paint the parts that aren't supposed to be painted. So just putting an X on there helped me to be reminded and make sure I didn't have to sit there and figure it out every time as I was going. After that, I blocked off the areas I was going to paint. Again, I was only painting 2 quadrants of this, and so I didn't have to cover the entire thing. But I used some paper, just some scrap paper out of a magazine, and slid it underneath. You could tape it, you could just tape straight along the edge, but because I had those funky little Moroccan cutouts in the corners, that would have been pretty tricky to tape around. So I just slid paper under that into the crack under the mirror in all those places, and then taped it down to make sure that it wouldn't wiggle around too much. Now I'm just using really thin magazine paper here, so when I do pull it out, I will have to separate it carefully from the frame to make sure it's not stuck and that it doesn't tear and leave little bits underneath the edge of the frame. A pro tip that I've heard from some other painters that is a great idea is to go to a dollar store and buy a cheap pack of playing cards, because those are thicker and they're waxed, and you can just shove those under the edge of the frame, and then you can paint all the way around and over it, and then you can pull them out pretty easily. They're usually thick enough and sturdy enough that they will not tear and leave little bits underneath the edge of your frame that you can see reflected in the mirror. So that's a great trick to try. I'm using chalk paint and a brush to paint this, and so I spray it with a little water, and that helps it go on because it's very thick and has a lot of opacity. People like using chalk paint because it has really good coverage. It sticks to almost anything without doing a whole lot of prep work. And with this, just a couple of coats usually will be enough. Even if it's a light color, just a couple of coats is usually enough to get coverage and to get it to stay on. So chalk paint is great for something like this. If you are not as comfortable with chalk paint or with using a paintbrush, you could use spray paint for this job, in which case you would need to do it outside, and you would need to obviously mask off the entire mirror completely so that it won't get any spray paint on it, and tape that edge very carefully all the way around. And if you're using spray paint, you want to use long strokes and paint it on very lightly. You want to use several different coats, very light coats, rather than spraying too heavy in one place. If you spray too hard in one spot or too heavy with the spray paint, you will get either drips or you will get these shiny spots that don't match with the rest of the paint, and so it won't have a nice even coat. What you want to do is long, light coats, just multiple coats until you get the color that you want. If you're doing it with a brush like I am, then you want to make sure that you've got something around the edge like paper or tape, and then paint all the way around the edge. Then go back over softly with a light touch to kind of soften up those brush strokes and make it as smooth as possible. This is the first coat, and then I'll go back in with a second coat and it'll have pretty much complete coverage. Here I'm adding the second coat, and you can see that it has a lot of thickness and opacity, and it's a great color. This color I'm using is Annie Sloan Original, which is a creamy, it used to be called Old White, but even that was still too bright for what I was envisioning, so I mixed in some light brown paint called Fawn with it to make this deep, warm, creamy color. Because what I was imagining for this mirror was that it is designed to go in a room that's in this kind of cream, beige, and natural rattan and wood kind of bohemian style room that's very hip right now. And because this mirror had these cutouts that had kind of a boho vibe to me, I felt like it would be perfect to turn it into a mirror that had the personality of a room like that and was designed to be used in a room with all those colors. I will include some pictures of the type of style of bohemian room that I'm talking about here. So these materials are all rattan, natural wood, pampas grass, creamy chunky knits and unbleached muslins, wicker, jute, macrame, and puka shells, all kinds of cream and beige and tan things like that. So just a couple of coats of that was enough for me to feel like I got full coverage. And after I let that dry, I was ready to pull the paper out from under it. If you're painting several coats with a brush and there is thick paint that has dried onto the tape or the paper or whatever you have under there, then I recommend getting something like a putty knife, because it's not as sharp as a razor blade or an X-Acto, and pushing it under the edge to release that, try and run it under that edge so that you're releasing the paper or tape from the edge of the wood of the frame. Okay, so do that first, release it all the way around before you start pulling it out. And then when you pull it out, don't pull up, because then it's more likely to rip. Try and pull it out toward you so that it will release from underneath the frame rather than just ripping. If it rips, whatever's still under the frame is going to be under there, and you're still going to be able to see it in the mirror, so you're going to have to figure out a way to go through and like dig all that out and unstick it. And it can be done, but it's a little bit of a hassle. So if you can avoid that, you're better off. Now, if you're planning to resell this mirror, if you're a flipper, then you want to turn it over and make sure that you neatly finish out the back in a way that looks nice, because, and this just goes for any time that you're painting something that you're planning to resell, make sure that you just kind of finish it out in a way that is pretty and looks attractive to the person, so that it looks like you tried and it's not just a sloppy secondhand piece, but it feels like something that they would want to buy and bring into their home. It will help you sell it if you do take the time to just kind of finish things out and make them look nice, whether it's a mirror or any other piece of furniture that you're painting. Okay, let's talk for a minute about a good way to clean up any paint that you get on the mirror, or if it's a secondhand mirror, sometimes it will have sticky tape residue or just some kind of thing stuck on it that's never been cleaned off. A good way to clean it, you can try alcohol, you can try Windex, but then if you still got something you can't get off, getting a razor blade, and the best kind to use is from one of these box knives. I don't have one that's out right now, but when you open this up, unscrew it, and take the razor blade out, it's gonna be shaped like this. It has two pointy ends and then flat sides. I don't remember what that's called in geometry, but somebody in the comments can tell me what it's called. The reason those are good is when you take it out, you can scrape flat and scrape off any paint you want, but because it goes to a point, you can scrape even under, and this is where you're most likely going to have paint that you need to get off, depending on how well you taped under. You can scrape under the edge of the frame into the glass. Just be careful. If it is a new razor blade, these are sharp, and so you can accidentally, like literally shave off part of the wood of the frame, and it will just cut the piece of wood right off. So be sure that you're being careful not to do that. Make sure that you keep the razor blade right up against the glass of the mirror and don't let it come up to the frame where it could cut through the wood and cut off a chunk of your wood, because that can happen if you're not careful. But that is the easiest, or just a razor blade from an old-fashioned razor if you have one of those, as long as it's flat. That works better than an X-Acto knife, because you can scrub the paint off and scrape it off with that, and that should work well, and then clean it with Windex. Once your paint is completely dry, if you did paint it with a brush instead of spray paint, you will want to probably lightly sand it with a soft grit sandpaper to smooth it out, smooth out any of those brush strokes. And if you decide you want to do any kind of distressing or aging of the piece, now would be the time to do it with your sanding block or your sandpaper. I decided to go through and kind of bring out the edges here to really draw some attention and delineate those corners where it has those special cutouts. And if you do sand an edge like that, where the darker wood kind of shows through the lighter paint, it almost gives it this little outline, and it really does kind of draw attention to that special cutout shape on the inside. After cleaning up all that sanding dust really well, I use something called tack cloth. If you have never seen that before, you can get it at a hardware store, and it's just some gauze that has some kind of sticky, oily stuff in it, and it will pick up all the dust and paint and sawdust and anything like that if you wipe it up, and that will really help get all those little dusty particles off the mirror and keep it from kind of going under the edge of the mirror and getting stuck in there. So tack cloth is a great thing to use to clean up those things after you're sanding. After that, I decided to wax this with a blend of white and clear wax, because I wanted, again, for it to have this kind of whitewashed and weathered bohemian look. And so I waxed the whole thing to seal it. You also could just seal it with a clear coat. My favorite water-based clear coat is called Minwax Polycrylic. You can also get that at your big box hardware stores like Home Depot and Lowe's. This is wax that is used a lot of times on top of chalk paint. You can get clear wax to just seal it, or they have different colors of wax, dark antique wax or white wax, to give it different kinds of finishes. And in this case, I used the white wax with some clear wax mixed in, so it wouldn't be super, super bright white. Well, once I wiped off the excess white wax, this is what I was left with, and I think it's ready to go in a bohemian room. What do you think? All right, so there you go. There's your instructions for how to paint a mirror frame without taking the frame out of the mirror. Now, after hearing all this, you may decide, oh, it would be easier to just take it apart. If you have a mirror that is not that hard to dismantle, you may decide, and you're handy with the screwdriver and stuff, if it's made where it comes apart pretty easily, you may decide you'd rather take it apart. Then you can paint the frame, and if you're gonna do that, I really recommend not only paint the frame, spray painting might be great, paint on the inside of the frame, the inside edge. So like I said, then when you put the mirror back in, the color that reflects will be the exact color of the whole mirror. You won't have that problem with having that different color reflecting around the edge. If it comes apart easily, you may decide you want to do that instead of leaving it inside the frame. So those are your options for painting a mirror, and I'd love to hear if you've done it or are going to do it. How did it turn out? What did it look like? What color did you paint it? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.